I watched the Snyder Cut this weekend, guys.
What did you think?
I watched about half of it. Go ahead.
You know what? I think I was talking to a friend of mine about this last night. My friend called me for my birthday, and we were talking about Snyder Cut, and I was like, I was so scarred by Batman versus Superman, and it so lowered my opinion of Zack Snyder that watching this movie, I was like, this is pretty good. You know?
I have not seen. I saw the Superman movie that he did, which was like it was, but I had no expectations going in. I thought I've not seen anything else that he's done, and I was like, oh, this is not bad.
Yeah.
Here's the short review. Is that in my brain? I'm watching this and I'm like, this is a bad movie, but because of my lowered expectations, I was like, this is an okay movie. Joss Whedon's Justice League is a C- movie. It's just very boring. It's very bland. This movie is at least interesting, but it's 4 hours long. So instead of being a C-, it's a C.
Or you
That's
gonna say
basically
it.
it.
Rob, I was going to ask, when you said that you saw half of the Snyder Cut,
Okay.
were you making a joke that you just saw the original movie?
That's really fun. I wish I
Oh.
were. No, that was not me. That's a good.
That's a good joke.
I do
Anthony,
like that joke.
That's a good tweet. I don't know who owns that, but that's
Yeah.
a good tweet.
Who does own that?
You own that. You.
Yeah,
to
that
say
was
it.
all you.
That's great. Yeah, I didn't have that idea. I literally just watched half of it so far,
I see. Okay.
and I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying it.
I watched it in small chunks as well, and I just finished it this morning. But yeah, I also I enjoyed it quite a bit. The Flash stuff is a little like that comedy. None of that works.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how bad that is.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if you were this is 4 hours, it did not need to be 4 hours because you can cut all of this character.
There was like 20 minutes of Icelandic women singing after Aquaman left for the first time, and it's
Wish
like,
there were more.
I feel like we could have gotten this down to 3:40 right here. We're not even 10 minutes into the movie, and I know how we can make this better and shorter.
There was one part where the Justice League is like now breaking into Cyborg's father's lab.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, this is a false alarm. Why is everybody evacuating? We have to call. And then he realizes it's his son coming in. And he's like, and they're like, you have to do Victor. Oh, it's Victor. And I just wanted to hear the other guy on the other end of the line, like, we have to do Victor? What does that mean? Like, they never... he just, like, stopped talking to him.
Victor, your son that died, is he there? This is insane. Everybody get back in there. His son is back. I love that they got Miles Dyson to do that role. The same guy that played Miles Dyson in
Oh,
T2.
yeah. I was thinking that
This
same thing. I was
guy,
like...
he says almost all of his acting career is in high-tech facilities.
Where he sacrifices himself for the greater good after working on technology that was far
Alien
advanced.
and
Yeah.
futuristic. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's such a specific typecast?
3 seconds into the movie, he's like walking around just like being really nice. Everybody's like, "Hey, Gary, how's the wife? Coffee's not too hot, is it?" And I'm like, this guy's whole career is just being nice to people in high-tech facilities.
That's what I thought about Michael Fassbender when he was in Inglourious Bastards, and then the beginning of one of the X-Men movies where he was playing Magneto, where he's just hunting down Nazis. So I was like, this is the best typecasting to ever just be like a guy who's a badass Nazi killer in every movie.
We have this idea for a romantic comedy with you and Kate Winslet, where they can see he's like losing interest. It's like, and at one point you hunt down a Nazi and kill him. Oh, okay, all right. Interesting. Well, since Anthony's gone, let's start the episode officially. How's it going, everybody? We are Is This Anything?
I still have more things to say about the Snyder Cut.
Well, let Anthony continue, finish watching it, and then...
I also have one.
He's just cooking lunch,
There
and
he
he
is.
knows that you hate it when we do that on camera.
Anthony, I had a joke about the Snyder Cut that I wanted to say. Well, I was doing the same thing that Brett was doing. Although I was enjoying the film, I did notice how often I was making fun of it as well. Like how many moments I was like, this is very... If I'm not very into this, I can get out of it very quickly because,
Sure.
yes... Icelandic Gregorian chants, overly emotional moments, even the very beginning, yeah, like that Superman scream. I was like, that's a really cool concept, and it gives some semblance of, oh, why are these mother boxes doing the things that they're doing? So I appreciated all that. Oh, also, I just appreciate a director's vision, like above all else. Like I don't care if it's good or bad. I want to know what the person or creative team came up with. So seeing a hacked up, mashed together thing that Joss Whedon and Snyder and then the team put together, I mean, it showed. I hated it when I watched it. I was like, what is this? This movie is long and unwieldy, but at least I am following
it's interesting at
what
least.
someone is trying to do. And I think that he's doing it because he's like, well, I would have given probably all these guys individual films, but since I don't, I'm going to give them all like 25 minutes of unedited airtime.
Right.
Even if it's bad, which is like the Flash's part is pretty bad as far as origin stories are concerned.
Yeah.
And I was like, this part's bad. But I didn't mind the other stuff. I was like, yeah, give me an extended Aquaman. Give me an extended whatever. But
Some really cool shots too.
yeah, some stuff's really cool. The one joke I was very much giggling to myself was watching Batman is now talking to Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman is explaining how Darkseid came to Earth and tried to take over, but the Atlanteans and they all work together to fight him back. And she is narrating it, but there is a point that in which she stops narrating, like her words pretty much cease, but the fighting continues and it goes on for like 8 minutes. And so I wanted at some point it to cut back to her and she's like, and then like, ah! And then Darkseid, he's like, ah!
Bruce Wayne's on his phone, like,
Got little action figures. She's like,
I also noticed that the first 2 times that they show Aquaman, he comes in from rescuing somebody in the sea, and then is about to go back into the sea, and he takes his wet shirt off, and I'm like, why does he keep putting a shirt on?
Where is he getting all these shots?
Where is he getting? Are these shirts like dry underwater? I don't understand what's going on.
there was. This is the last thing I want to say about the Snyder Cut. I could talk about this for hours, but there is an aesthetic around Jason Momoa in that movie where he looks like a different version of Aquaman than exists. Where it's like he's like barnacled. You know,
Yeah, he looks like Raiden.
It's like a crusty old sea captain emerging from the sea, you know? And I wish that his performance had sort of like reflected that a little bit more and they had kept going with that instead of eventually turning him into like the clean Aquaman that we see in the movie and everything. But yeah, some of those shots with him, like, you know, jumping back into the sea and the spray is like, you know, going up high and stuff like that. And just his gross salt water hair is just like, you know, flowing through the breeze. I was like, this looks amazing.
Yeah, you don't like this like corroded old god of the sea being like, hey, thanks for the lift, dude. You didn't think that fit? Fist bumping people?
Exactly. A man.
Yeah.